when we call on the earth element, I really invite you to connect with ancient earth. So if we can call on that image of the lush, green, infinite forests, deserts, mountains, ice caps, the animals wandering free, the clean rivers, clean lakes, really earth before modern industrial capitalism, then we can really anchor into the purest essence of the ways that we are deeply supported by the earth, because at her, core, this is her truth. And as we anchor into ancient earth in meditation, really using the imaginal mind to really call ourselves there, we can also use the mudra, that is Bhumi Mudra, Bhumi meaning earth in Sanskrit. We can take all of our fingers and touch. Very simple. If we're in seated meditation, all it takes is dropping the hands to the floor. If we are on a couch and we're, having what's the opposite of earth energy? Rising, intense air, fire energy, right? So if we're having anxiety or we just need an anchor to ground, like hands go down, they can touch the couch. If you're outside, like when I'm in a road trip, like I get outside and I just reach down and I touch the earth. Of course, I always reach down and touch the earth to thank her after I'm leaving a space, after I'm leaving a trip, even if I've been in an Airbnb for a day or two, I reach down, thank you for holding this space. So the ways that we connect with the earth to thank her, to acknowledge her, to also receive her medicine, to receive her grounding, to receive her gift of the vibration of the earth itself, which is a very real thing. Schumann's resonance, right, is what it's called, so that the gigahertz that really vibrate, that primary vibration of the earth automatically brings the human nervous system into balance. So when we reach for Bhumi Mudra, we are calling on that power. I first came to know Bhumi Mudra through the story of the Buddha, who was tested before his awakening and by the great Maya, and Maya being the delusion of this life and all of its beautiful ecstasy. And of course, Maya and Buddha go together, but when Maya was saying, like, well, are you sure you want to become enlightened? You don't want like 1,000 fresh virgins at your service. You don't want all the wealth of the kingdoms. So all the ways that the ego really calls us to get sucked into a vibration that is out of alignment with our truth. And that's not to say that sex and virgins and money and wealth are bad. Maya's always holding that polarity of the feminine in that story, and that she is sacred, that she is enlightened at her deepest core. But Buddha is really representing that masculine center of stillness that is like, I choose to anchor into truth and to let that be the place from which I make all of my actions. And as Maya is luring and alluring and tempting him, he's like, oh shit, and he reaches down and touches the earth, and he's like, oh yeah, underneath the banyan tree, of course, the tree being the essential pole of the chakras rooted down into the earth and rising to the sky. That is what we are always going for in our meditation, right? That rooting down and rising up. So Bhumi Mudra can be done in meditation, fingers on the floor, can be done hand at heart, one hand on the floor, can be done any moment. Reach down, touch the earth. It's not complicated. Stay there, breathe, receive the medicine, receive the gift. And as far as mantra goes for earth, there's so many we could choose. I have chosen for you the mantra, the earth mantra, I am in my center regardless of circumstance. I am in my center regardless of circumstance. And that harkens back to the image of the tree, the great teacher, really the great phallus, right? The rooting down, rising up, and the full expression of receiving the nourishment of spirit in form and in the ethers, in the eternal, and allowing that to be our emanation, our expression. So as far as visualization for Earth, yes, we can definitely draw into ancient Earth visualization. We can also draw into tree visualization. So I wish for you that you have a tree outside of every window that you have. But if you, in front of your altar, having a tree there is really freaking helpful. So I find that I rely on gazing at a literal tree to ground, like more often than I rely on my inner imaginal space to ground at this point. So I've guided you through this whole program to sink your roots down and expand your roots. And that is really easier when you're looking at a tree. Like it's a quick transmission when you're looking at a tree. You're like, oh yeah, I'll use that tree I'll ride the roots of that tree, and I'll feel my spine as that tree. And you don't have to just be inside or meditating to use that. I invite you anytime you're hiking. Like, the trees are our greatest teachers. Go to the trees. Like, present yourself. Speak to the trees. Don't force yourself. Ask if you can enter their field. And enter their field gently. Feel the energy first. Where can you start to feel it? Because the energy is going, just like our own field, it's going far, but at what point can you perceive it? So it's nice to enter into a relationship with tree, to feel into tree, and when you're accepted and when you are ready and the tree is ready, you can just make that connection, give it a hug, give it a touch, put your forehead there, rest, maybe sing it a song. The trees are our deep teachers, and Bhumi Mudra can access that grounding, steady, stable, consistent energy of the earth that we really want to call on anytime we're feeling anxious or uncertain or floaty or spacey, or we're seeking to remember, like, why? Like, what's our roots? Like, why am I doing this practice? Why am I going to be truthful in this situation even though I don't want to be? Why am I, if you're traveling and you've been on planes, it's like, yes, like, get down on the earth, take a walk. So that mantra, I am in my center, regardless of circumstance, is so powerful for the earth because it encapsulates the energy of the enchantress, the witch, the early wise woman who is deeply in constant alchemy of her environment, shaping her environment, understanding that our every word and our every thought is a spell. We are creating our experience again and again. So why don't we create from center instead of creating from being off center? This mantra brings us back into our power, reminds us that we are at choice in every moment, that our life is a giant corridor of doors, and we have thousands of doors at our disposal in every moment, and each door will lead to another corridor, thousands of doors. We are at choice. We are not victims. I am in my center regardless of circumstance. That was a lot. Let's put it all together. Mudra, mantra, and visualization for the earth element. See that in the next video.